Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a video on my cat Missy. She was a rescue. I got her from a cat rescue called Casca, and I named her Missy. She's a tuxedo cat. I think she's about 2 or 3. I got her when I think she was about 1. They told me she was about 2, but she was so kitten-like when I first got her. So her story, look at how beautiful she is. She's a little feisty girl. So I just woke her up. She was upset that I picked her up and she was spending time with my son because she's my son's cat. She's not really my kitty cat. Right, baby? Yeah. So she's very feisty. She's tiny. She's a little girl. Let me show you how tiny she is. So she's really tiny. She's a little tiny girl. Oh, sweetheart. She doesn't really like to be held, so I'm gonna put her down soon and I'm gonna explain her little story. But this is my beautiful girl, Missy. Look at how sweet she is. And she has these beautiful green eyes. I don't wanna get her upset. Here, there she is. Look how sweet she is. Don't want to traumatize her at all because she's such a good girl. She's beautiful. I'm gonna put her down. Okay, so her little story was, I had signed up to be a foster mom for her, or for any kitty cat, and they called me. They had got her in. So she was abandoned. Some lady who lived, actually, they said she lived on a dead end street near like a very rural area. So she knew her neighbors and she had very far and few, and the cat didn't belong to any of them. So she said that there was no way the cat wandered there and got lost. So someone deliberately threw her there. So for like a month she was crying, and the lady, she was feeding her, but she was allergic to cats, so she didn't take her. And she was going on vacation, so she didn't want anything to happen to the poor thing. So she called a cat rescue called Casca, and they took her. They had told me she was already fixed, so whoever had her had fixed her. So I don't know her situation. I'll never know her story, whether they were with someone who cared and then they gave her away, or I don't know what, to someone who was mean. But from what I know, she was definitely abused. Whoever had her used to pull her by the arms, because when I first got her, she was terrified of anyone to touch her hand or even anything. She was so scared. So just by her reaction, you know that either someone would lift her up by her arms or pull her by her arms. I don't know. And she wasn't a fan of adults. She bonded with my son. And from there, and she appreciated me, but it took time. It really took time. So when I first got her, because I have other cats that weren't very welcoming to her, so I had a room just for her, and she stayed in that room, and she had her little litter box and food, and I would go in there and spend time with her, and so would my son, and let her get used to us, and I was very patient and loving with her. So she was there for about 2 weeks, and then she was such a clean little girl, so perfect. And her biggest thing when she went out to see the other kitty cats, because it's a very, very important to introduce them the right way. So you have to not let them see each other, but smell their scent through the door, and stuff like that. And then it wasn't only that, she had trauma and stuff, so she had to know that she was safe. So when I finally did introduce her to the kitty cats, her biggest thing was she got to use the litter box with all the other cats. And then she got to come upstairs and she had her little corner. And it was really sad because for months, the way she would sit, she always picked a spot where her back was to the wall and she could absolutely see everything around her, so nothing could come and grab her from the back. So she would pick little corners of the house where she was safe and she could just see everything and nothing would get her from behind. So she'd be near a wall, or if it was a sofa, she'd sit in the corner of the sofa where, she could see everything. So she did that till she was comfortable with everything and everyone. But she's a feisty little girl. Like, she's tiny, and you in my other videos, you see how big my male cats are. So she would go right up to them and smack them and do a little just to let them know what's up, that she, you know, she wasn't afraid of them. Like, she never fought. She's not a fighter, but she will like stand up for herself. Like, she's feisty, and she's like, you know, she can hold her own. Like, she's a street girl. She's very different from baby girl. Baby girl is like a little spoiled diva, and she walks around like, oh, look at me, I'm baby girl. And this one, Missy, she's not. She's like, you know, she's got spunk. She's hey baby. She's a little tough girl. She's a sweetheart. She's very quiet though. She's very quiet, very sweet. And she really, really fell in love with my son. The sad thing is, the rescue had told me, because she's like a dark cat, like black, not many people are gonna want to adopt black cats. And it is so sad. Like, you wouldn't think that would be true. In the span, I got her, I believe, in the summer of like July. And I only had, so about 6 months, I think, 3 people call to adopt her. 2 people were a bit like weird, that I was like, no, she's not going with them. Like, one lady was like, oh, I just lost my cat like 7 days ago, I want a new one. And I'm like, well, what happens if the other one came back? Like, I don't know, it just was a bit weird. She was just too quick to replace the other one. And then the second person that came, she's like, yeah, I live in a really like open area where they have coyotes, and I just had 3 cats eaten by like wild animals. So I'm like, what? I said, oh, hopefully you're not gonna let this one out if you take her. She's like, yeah, they go outside. So I'm like, there's no way I'm letting Missy go to be eaten, you know, or whatever. So I'm like, definitely not. And then nobody called for her, and I guess she was bonding more with my son and trusting us. And you know what, it was amazing to see her really come out of her shell. Like, I gave her so much patience and love, and she came to me, and she has her moments. Like, she doesn't like to be picked up. Like, it is on her terms pretty much, but she will come to me, and she will purr, and she will snuggle, and she will love me, and she'll do her little kneading, making bread, and she just shows me how much I feel it. She's like thanking me. And it's so different with her. Like, she has toys, and she has food and treats, and she's so appreciative. Like, I can see it, as opposed to like my other spoiled cats that I had from kittens. They're just like expecting it, like they're spoiled. She's not. She really appreciates everything that she has, and she sleeps above my son's pillow. She has her own little pillow, and she sleeps there, and she's just like, she's with him all the time. So it's amazing. Like, how they bonded was, he actually was sick one time with a really bad fever, and she sat and nursed him the whole time. She didn't leave his side. So I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, like, finally a third person had called. This was around the Christmas-ish, and I had this feeling that they would adopt her because they were like a family and they sounded really nice. So I was just like, no, I can't do that, and I can't do that to my son. So I adopted her. So I'm a foster failure. What can I say? I can't be a foster mom. I just fall in love with them. So that being said, like, I adopted her, and that was my son's Christmas present. So he's cute. He says, he calls her Missy, my moo Christmas cow, because he says the black and white remind him of a cow. So that's his little sweetheart. So she really is an amazing cat. It's really sad to see how people treat animals, because I don't know what she went through in her life, but I do still to this day, even though she's happy and she's trusting us. And that's another reason why I didn't want to give her away. She would just go through another abandon issue thinking that we abandoned her. So, you know, I'm happy that she's stable here and she gets along with the other cats. Like, everybody is pretty good. They all get along now. Nobody fights. And she's just happy. She's with my son, and she goes outside, and she comes in. So she has a good life. Like, I'm good to her. but she does sometimes when she's sleeping, and it's really sad. Like she'll wake up like crying and crying and crying, and I have to comfort her. Or sometimes she'll like hiss in her sleep, and she'll cry, and she wakes up like and I have to like calm her down and like make sure and she knows she's okay. So I think she still has dreams where she's traumatized of her past, which is kind of sad. It's gonna be about 2 years, I guess, that I've had her now. And she's an angel. I'm really happy to have fostered and to have taken her in. So I would suggest, like, if anyone can foster dogs or cats, do it, because we help them. They learn love, they have a home, and you know what? We can help find them homes. So I think being a foster parent is amazing. I mean, I failed as one because I fell in love with her. But if you can do it without falling in love with them and keeping them, that's amazing. Or do it and adopt them. Why not, eventually? It just helps them, and it keeps them out of the shelters, with that kill shelters and stuff like that. That's so sad, and that's even traumatizing. It's like they're in jail. But anyways, so that's my story on my Missy. She's my 4th cat and my rescue. I hope you liked the video. I hope you watch my other videos. I hope you give me a 2 thumbs up. And that's it. I wish you all a wonderful day or night wherever you are. I send you lots of love and positivity. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please watch my other videos. And I really appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much. Take care.